Hi, I'm Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel, and today we're going to be showing you the PPE Firewall insulation blanket. Today we're going to be installing the PPE Firewall Insulator. I've got my good friend B2B manager Bob Geis here with us, and he's helping us hold this up because this thing is awkward. So talking just a little bit about this blanket. You guys that have got a Chevrolet, this particular model fits the 2001 through 2005 trucks. You guys that have got a Chevrolet, especially one of these older trucks, you can look up here at the hood of the truck. The insulating blanket material really just does not do very well. Breaks down over time, starts to flake away. You get fiberglass shreds all over the engine bay, whatnot. It's just kind of a mess. We can go ahead and sit it down now, Bob. I wanted to stand it up for everybody there. You can see on this truck that we have here at the shop, this blanket has already, we've already pulled it out of this truck. It was just pretty much tattered before we pulled the engine out of this vehicle. We went ahead and pulled it out. What the PPE Firewall Insulator does is it's going to muffle a lot of the engine noise that enters the cab and absorb a lot of the heat that would enter the cab of the truck coming from the diesel engine. This blanket can be installed with the engine in the truck, no problem. We're going to show you every step of that today. But if you've got the engine out of the truck, this is a cheap piece, high quality piece that I would definitely 100% suggest that you install while you've got your motor out of your truck, especially you racing guys, even you day-to-day guys. This is going to do a whole lot, quietening down the cab of your truck, protecting you from heat from your air conditioning system. It's just a very good upgrade for your Duramax truck. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our installation. Really don't need anything here tool wise too awful much. 10 metric socket will do it, and a pair of side cutters, dikes, and I'll show you what we'll use those for here in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and climb in this engine bay and we'll get started. All right, crawled up here into our engine bay, and the first thing that we're going to do, Chevrolet, on the assembly of these trucks, there is a black plastic dowel. I'm going to call it as an alignment dowel. This is used in the assembly of the vehicle at the GM plant for when you set your dash system in here. This is just an alignment dowel so that the workers are able to get everything lined up here with this. PPE does not cut a hole in their blanket for this alignment dowel because this serves no purpose once the truck is assembled. So instead of cutting a hole in the blanket, putting a grommet there, which would be another place for heat loss, PPE does not do that, so they suggest that this dowel be taken out. This is just plastic. I like to use little side cut dikes just to cut it off, because what you want to do there is you want to cut it and you want to make sure that you get as smooth as an edge as you can right there. You don't want it too awful sharp because it will dig into the back side of the insulator blanket. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to trim down just a little bit more, and then I'll get a emery cloth here, smooth my edges out, and then we'll lay our blanket in. What I want to do now is I want to talk about a few of the fasteners before we get started laying this this PPE blanket in here. The plastic retainers that Chevrolet use to hold their stock insulation blanket in are actually cannot be bought. Well, hey, I'll grab us another one. Don't worry about that one. These cannot be bought separately. So when you get your blanket, you'll wonder, why didn't PPE send these these little plastic clips? Because the way these are designed originally from the factory, I'll take one that's already broke here. The ears on this are up when they get them from the factory like that. There's two of the ears. And you take it and it goes through the grommets on the insulator on the firewall. Goes through like that. And then you fold the ears back, and then that holds the insulation blanket in. Well, when those ears pop out, there's a little leg underneath there, and you can't see that, but they're dry and brittle. What it amounts to, you can't use these back in their original form, meaning you can't push the bracket through here and then have it spread these ears out and have it hold that insulation blanket. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really like that anyway, because it doesn't really hold the blanket tight to the cowl the way it should, in my opinion. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these on the outside of the blanket. You'll get enough thread engagement that will hold the blanket back, so it's just fine. So I'm going to start in the middle on this blanket. I want to get the middle hung, and what we'll do then is once we hang the middle of it, I'm going to leave it loose, and then once I've got all points on, I'll go ahead and zip it down. So 10 metric here in the middle. We're going to take this bolt out, nut right here, and then my 2 plastic retainers. So we'll kind of fast forward through this. And then I've got my 2 plastic retainers that come out here. All right, and what I'll do, just to keep that plastic ear from hanging off of there, I'll go ahead and break that or get it into a position where it'll go through that grommet. Most of them will probably break. All right, so we'll take our blanket, we're gonna lay it in here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by hanging it off of my 1 stud here at the top. So that'll start as my reference point. I'll put this nut on here just to hold it. And then I'm going to go through and match up my grommets where they need to be. I've got my grommet on the bottom here. That one gets a plastic retainer. So I'll start it on a couple threads and we'll tighten it. And then top will have another piece of plastic, and then we'll be getting a bolt right here. So we'll start our bolt in and leave it loose. So that's pretty well got your middle section done here. This plastic grommet at the transition can come on out too, because you're right there anyway. So you'll kind of go ahead and line it up right there. So I'm just trying to leave it loose so I can work. Now, if the dryer was in this truck, the dryer has got a bracket on it that holds the dryer, and this is your mounting point for your dryer. There is another bolt inside of the dryer. You'll get to it 10 metric. What you'll do on that, loosen up the clamp, and that lets the clamp around the dryer rotate, so you can squeeze this right behind the dryer, no problem. The dryer does not have to come out. Now we're going to take the 2 10 metrics on this side out. And we'll fit this up on that side. We'll remove our bolt for the dryer clamp as well. So start down at the slit for the dryer, squeeze it past that, and just put my nut on there so it holds it. Then we're going to use our bottom hole and get it started. And then my next hole on the outside, apologize, I took 1 bolt out I shouldn't have there. I was looking at it wrong, apologize. That 10 metric right there does not come out. There's a plastic retainer that goes back in this piece. Sorry about that. Had the retainer off of it where I was talking about it, so I'll tighten that bolt back down there, and then I've got 1 plastic retainer here at the very top in the center that goes back. So we're good there. And the middle cowl was where I was missing a bolt. So this, you can see, clears your lines going to your heater core, and it's a really, really good fit here. So we've got everything there. So again, I'm going to leave that loose. I'm going to get out of the way so you can kind of see that center section there. This section that goes around the steering shaft, the master cylinder, and comes back around. I'm going to get out of the truck and I'm going to kind of let Adam go over to that side and show fishing this around. This will work for a ZF6 truck. And one of the things that we were worried about here was on the driver's side of this truck, you've got a slave master cylinder. This will squeeze past that slave master cylinder. Your next anchoring point will be a plastic clip in this corner. We'll try to show that as best we can. But what we're working towards here is we're going to get this in the truck, let you see it fit and finish on it. So All right, we moved this power steering bracket out of the way for here now. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of show you how to fish this around. So the long end of this blanket, I'll use this as kind of my fishing line. So I want to bring the long end underneath of the steering shaft, underneath of the master cylinder, and then just right around the master cylinder and bring it back up, just like that. Then start feeding the blanket. There is a notch cut in the blanket, and the notch is designed to go around this wall right here, this little standard right here that goes out. So that is what you're going to want that to fall across there. Actually, I'm wondering that will line up there a little bit better, and it does. So now we're gonna take the far right hand ear out and fish it through like that. There's another plastic wing nut here that we're gonna use. So I'm gonna take it out. Our very last grommet will make it all the way to there. Just like so. Then we can place our plastic nut on it. I'll let you guys see this in just a second. 1 second. Okay. So now what that gives us is the fucking thing not working. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you bringing this firewall blanket together. We've got everything fished through around our steering shaft here, and Adam, I know it's got a limited amount of camera that you're able to do there, but once you've got everything across there, I went back, put this plastic cap on the firewall. I don't know why I keep saying black, but got that back in. And what I've seen on this PPE, I've seen some pictures of this. They put this back together with, looks like just used a bolt and a nut. I didn't want to use a bolt and a nut there because I'm afraid I'm going to have a rattle. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put these two pieces back together with a zip tie. You can do it however you want to do it at home. If you don't like the zip tie idea or whatnot, I get that, but for me, I really just don't want to rattle, so I'm going to use these zip ties right here, and I'm going to put that back together just like that with the zip ties. So I'll get a dike, I'll cut that down, then I'll probably put another one on there just for stability. So I'll go through here, I'll tighten everything down. But now I am going to move out of the engine compartment, and I will let you see the PPE Firewall Insulator bracket. I'm going to take this camera. Adam and I had talked about this. I wanted to show you. Sorry about the bad camera work there. Just wanted to show you those spots on the passenger side, what that looked like, and then around the center of the cowl here. And then I'm going to take over and walk and show you at this compartment. The yellow plastic pin is the very far right hand. If you're looking at the firewall side right there, that's where you're going with that side of the blanket. We'll be going right to there. It worked through really well. Everything fit up nicely and fit well. So as the engine bay with this blanket in it. Much better quality than what was originally here. This hood piece has still got this cheap insulation that GM uses. We've replaced that with the new PPE offering, and it is a much better piece. Really do like that. So if you guys have a question about this product from PPE or any other PPE products, please give us a call. Easy installation, kind of harder for us to get camera angles to show you how to do it. There's a couple different ways you can do this as far as hardware goes. You can get a fender washer on some of these if you don't want to use the mounting stuff back. You know, there's not really an exact science on how to do it, but it is going to be a very quality piece for you. I forgot to link you in this video. Somewhere in here, Jim will put a link to our product explanation video that tells you all the tech specs on the blanket and our general overview of that. So, got questions about PPE or any product that we sell, please give us a call, like and subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.